You're watching Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Aishah Ashraf, and today we are joined by photographer Hana Abdul-Rawoof of Hana Clicks. Welcome to the show, Hana. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for joining us.
Walaikum assalam, Aisha. It's really nice to be here.
So can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you started your journey in photography?
So my name is Hannah, and I've been a professional photographer for 4 years now. I specialize in wedding photography, but I really enjoy shooting events and lifestyle as well. My love for photography really started with my dad, where he would shoot me and my siblings on his film camera. When I look through a lot of our family memories and albums, like you can really just see all of our childhood just unfolding, which really inspired me to kind of continue this documentation. So it was only later on when one of my lifestyle influencer friends, like she really wanted some photos for her social media and I offered to shoot for her. So we kind of started shooting a lot and I really got into the visual storytelling aspect. So she practically forced me to make a page so I could share this talent with others. And that's kind of how Hannah Clicks was born.
And from my understanding, you have been quite involved in the Muslim space in particular. What are some organizations or individuals that you've worked with?
So I have worked with Yaqeen Institute, which is Omar Suleiman's brand. And then I also got the opportunity to shoot the Muslimi Lifestyle Expo, which was with Buna Mohammed, Muslim Bilal, Sayed, Khair Talks with Ido Khair, and just a whole bunch of different people that were just extremely inspiring. I also was able to shoot Muslim Fest with Maher Zain and just kind of continue to work with different artists like Ilyas Mao and all these other different people.
Mashallah, that's amazing. And in your experience, why is it important to capture moments through photography, especially within the religious context?
So the way I think about it is people are going to tell our story with or without us. And I think it's just so important to have our voices and documentation of that to be alive. And when I shoot these conferences and these events, there's so many raw and candid moments of passion and interaction with youth. And when these photos are shared, they invoke emotion and they inspire other people. So I feel like it also just gives a great name for Islam and a great name for who we really are.
And are there specific moments or events within the Muslim community that you feel are particularly meaningful to capture?
So especially with everything that's been going on in the Middle East and with Palestine, going to protest, I feel like is so important. But I think I try to extend that a little bit further where I bring my camera with me. I make sure to shoot those events and kind of use those photos to raise awareness and show kind of what exactly is going on through my visual storytelling lens and through a lens that I've taken the time to kind of perfect my craft a little bit better and using those photos to share online for everyone else to use as well.
And can you share some memorable experiences or projects you've worked on within the space?
So when I was shooting for Maher Zain at Muslim Fest, like this just was such an amazing feeling for me because everyone was coming together and united for our love of Islam and its teachings. And it was really reinforced when I had children come up to me and they would ask for a picture or tell me how cool they thought it was that I was a photographer. And it just kind of made me realize you don't have to be on stage to be part of your community and kind of make that impact. And we're all coming together and collectively creating change just by doing what we do and doing our passion.
And what are your broader goals within the photography community or what you see yourself doing hopefully in the future?
I think for me, just really extending past shooting just the event, I think working with the artists specifically as well would be super amazing to kind of bring their vision to life. I think working at these conferences has given me an idea of the stuff they do and what they're passionate about. And I feel like being able to take that and take my kind of profession in photography and bring that to life with a different type of project and a solo project with these artists would be super amazing and be able to tell their story and tell what I view them as and put it into the world. I think that would be really amazing to continue on, to take it a step further.
And you recently dipped your toes into videography as well, creating a video of children reading out a poem they wrote in solidarity with Palestine. Can you explain what it means to you to share this message on your platform?
So this was actually done with the Muslim Family Hub. And what they do is they bring a bunch of families together and they do activities with the kids and just as their way of bringing the community together. And so this was actually my first time doing video. And it was a new angle of storytelling for me, at least. And I felt that this message would just be much stronger through the voices of the children by adding that aspect of audio. And it really did enhance the overall product of this poem. And honestly, at the end, if I knew that this is the impact that I would feel, I would have started just so much sooner. And I feel like my kind of message to anybody is just to start.
When someone typically asks you what it's like to be a photographer, is there one story or one cool kind of experience that you have that you like to share with others?
I think I always say it goes beyond taking beautiful photos. I think doing photography is just an aspect of visual storytelling that it really just takes a craft. And one experience that I like to share with everyone is just my beginnings. When I look at my first photos, I don't even want to see them. It's not something that I'm like, typically proud of, but in the moment, I thought these were the best things ever. I thought I was top notch. And so I think for anyone, my message is just to start.
And what does it mean for you to be in the space as a hijabi, as a visible Muslim as well?
I think for me, that's almost the best part because I get to represent Islam and do what I love at the same time. I find that being a hijabi in this space, it's not something you typically see. And so, well, at least for me, I see it quite a bit because I do follow a lot of different creators. But I think for everyone else, they're always like, wait, that's you or you do that? And I'm like, yes, and you can too. And I think within the space, I think there's a lot of recognition and a lot of people give you a little pat on the back for doing it as well. And I just think it's a great way to show even the wider, broader public that we Muslims, we do everything.
And like you mentioned earlier, it was important for you to even go out to protest and document those moments. Why do you think it's important to kind of share this story and raise awareness in different modes of storytelling? For example, we have the news, we can also share it through your version of storytelling, which is photography.
I think it's important to take different aspects of storytelling because everyone is going to have their own passion. And I think that's just where I kind of fall into photography for me specifically. And I feel like when you have a talent, when you have a passion, I think that it's your responsibility to share it. So I feel like when people are able to use their passion, I think it's just so important.
And would you have any pieces of advice for aspiring photographers, anything like that?
I think my piece of advice is to shoot every day. You got to find different subjects, find your niche, find what you like to do. If you don't like posing, find some candids. If you don't like shooting weddings and if you like doing lifestyle, if you don't like studio, shoot outside. I feel like it doesn't always just have to be people that you're shooting, it can be anything at all. And so I think for an aspiring photographer, it doesn't matter what equipment you have. Use your phone, use anything. The whole point is about raising awareness. It's about advocacy. It's about sharing your life and documentation. I always think about my dad's the photos my dad took. Those are just for us or more for him at that point in the beginning. And I feel like it's such a beautiful memory that we all hold so near and dear. And it doesn't have to be for a big scale. It can just be for yourself. And you'll learn so much about yourself in doing these things.
And what's something you would like to tell your dad who played a huge role in what you do now in your development as a photographer?
I think to my dad, first of all, thank you because you started my career. And I think also to my dad, it would be really nice to tell him just like how special these memories are to me. And I don't think he knows how much they mean to me. I sit and look at those albums all the time. And I think it always just it just reminds me of where I am now. And it really reminds me of the humble beginnings. And I know that my dad he just really, really inspired me. I don't think he understands that as much as I like to gloat about him.
And where can our audience find you?
So you can find me at Hana Clicks, so HANA.CLICKS on Instagram.
All right. Thank you so much for coming to our show and for discussing your passion with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're watching Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. Thank you for joining us. For more Muslim content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.